Throw your heart over the fence, and the rest will follow you. I am quoting Norman Vincent's word. My guest today is someone who can be best described by this quote. She is a freelance educator by profession and a speaker by passion. She is also part of a St. Thomas family. Therefore, she does not require much of an introduction. Within 1 year of starting her career, she has successfully trained more than 10,000 students, 500 plus teachers, visited more than 50 institutions, and has training experience of more than 300 hours. Currently, she is pursuing doctoral studies in education. Her contribution in the Jesus Youth movement cannot be missed. By now, I'm sure you must have understood who my guest is. Yes, it's none other than Anita. So, Chichi, what really inspired you to take up this profession in education? Is it because you come from an academic background, or what exactly made you take up this profession?
So all my life, I thought I wanted to become a teacher because both my parents are college professors. So I thought even I had to become a teacher, and that's what I had in my mind. That's what I planned. I did my bachelor's in maths, statistics, and economics. Plan was to do my master's in maths and get into college as a teacher. But after my bachelor's, I took a year break as a Jesus Youth full timer, and it was that 1 year of my life that changed everything that happened after that. So the experiences that I had during that year uh, made me or forced me to look at life on a very different level. And I think it was that year, the contemplation that I had during that year, the people that I met during that year, that made me think of a career other than becoming a teacher. So when I thought of becoming a teacher, it's more about me, maybe the little children, the few students that I'm going to meet. But I felt I had to do something more. And to do something more, that one way that I found was to get into education because I knew that my heart beats for teenagers, for youngsters. So the best way to get to them was education, and thus I did my master's in education and started off my career as an educator.
Okay, so coming to your Jesus Youth journey, I mean, you joined this movement like at the very young age, like 11 years. So, could you just briefly tell us how did you enter into Jesus Youth movement and how it contributed in your faith and formation?
Mm, So, yeah, as you said, in the year 2005, that's when I first came to the Jesus Youth movement. So, we had a family friend of ours who were part of the Jesus Youth and named Jitin and Nima. So, they asked my parents if they could send my elder brother for a summer camp. And because my elder brother went, I didn't want to stay back at home alone. So, I too hopped along with him. And though I was not a teenager then, I was just 11. I went there, and when I went there, there were things that I liked, there were things that interested me, and since then, I've been carrying on there. Now it's been around 10, 15 years. There were so many things that attracted me. Initially, it was about the love and care and affection that people gave me for no reason. There's nothing that they're going to get back, but still, they considered me as somebody of the earth. So initially, that was my interest. Then slowly, it became about the way I started seeing God. So I come from a Catholic family. So Amma had taught me my initial prayers. There was church to guide me through how God is and how to build spirituality and all that. But over here, I started seeing God not as a God sitting high above, controlling my life, not a God who's there to punish me, but I started seeing God as a person whom I can call as my best friend, uh, God whom I can talk to. That kind of interested me, and then that kept me going. Um, and that's how I my journey started with the Jesus Youth movement. And now when I look back, I would say it was not just a spiritual formation that happened to me during my stay with the Jesus Youth movement, but me as an individual became uh, a better person because of Jesus Youth, be it my interpersonal relationships, my skills, my talents, the lot of things that I picked up was because of this platform of Jesus Youth. So yes, definitely Jesus Youth has had a huge role to play in the kind of person whatever I am today, be it good or bad.
So it was actually after you joining Jesus Youth Movement, you realized your love for teenagers, and it ultimately led to this career choice as an educator. Maybe could you just recount some of the experiences that that actually acted as a catalyst in choosing this career?
Again, I agree with that because I told you when I came to the movement, I had a lot of people who loved me for no reason. So when I became a grown up, I felt whatever I got, I ought to give it to my younger brothers and sisters. So that's how I came to the Bangalore teens team, and then for a couple of years, I was in the movement as part of the teens team. So I went during that time. I went around meeting a lot of children, a lot of teenagers. I used to go to their homes. I used to be with their families, and these children somehow let me enter their life also. So we used to go around meeting here and there, having a little bit of chit chats, and that was the time I started understanding that my heart beats for them. uh, I have a love for them, and then I started feeling, yeah, I need to do something for them. If I can make their life a little more colorful, a little more better, I want to do all that it takes for that. So that's how my interest or my love for teenagers started. That was the foundation. Then everything else was built on that.
Okay. Okay, so usually once like after graduation, our first thing is either to have a settled job, either work under any organization, have a settled life, but you chose the reverse. Why did you actually opt for freelancing first?
I didn't really opt for freelancing. When I was doing my master's during the final semester, I actually did try to get a job. I don't know how many people I've sent mails, how many organizations I've called and spoke. But somehow I realized that nobody is able to understand what I have. They just say I have bizarre dreams. So there was no place that I could really put my dreams into practice. I did try to get a job. When I realized nothing of that is happening, once I have a mentor, and his name is Subin Jacob. So one day I was sitting and talking to him, and I told, nobody can understand me. I don't have a job. I can't do this, and it's just meaningless to go behind dreams and passion and all of that. And that day he told me, Anita, if there is nobody to give you a job, you need to go create a job for yourself. And that seemed ridiculous to me because I come from a family where all are salaried. Uh, um, not much of risks. Not I've not even been with business people, so I don't even know how this world functions. And I said, no, that's not going to work with me. I wanted to get into something really settled. But during that time, a book that I'd read many years back, The Alchemist, a line from that flashed my mind, which says, when you really want to do something in life, the whole universe conspires in helping you achieve it. So back then when I read it was just a mere motivation. But that day I thought, okay, maybe I should just give it a try and see, is the universe going to stand with me? And that's how I thought of giving it a try. And I started off, and somehow God's blessings and the support of so many people that it took off. Yeah, that's how I became a freelancer. Yes.
Okay, sure, definitely. The
To
universe actually conspired, and finally, your dream has turned into reality.
some
It is.
extent.
So, what are the challenges that you face? Or have you ever felt like, oh no, did I really make a mistake joining this?
Mm, okay. There have been times, to be honest, there have been times when I've thought, did I make a mistake? But the number of times that I've thought that have been really less. Times like when I was, so most of my work was in the Northeast, and when I was in Nagaland in the month of January, it was really, really cold. When I was in Meghalaya during November, December, it was really cold where my fingers and my toes used to hurt. It used to pain me. I used to wear 5, 6 layers of clothes. That's when I thought, God, why am I doing this? I should just be back home, like where things are much more comfortable. I've cried, thinking I can't bear this. That has been one time. Then there are times when people ask me, "Don't you have parents? Why you're a girl and why do you walk around like this?" So when they question that way, I've thought, am I bringing shame on anybody? If it was on some other job, at least people wouldn't question me this way. So that is another time that I've thought. Then the time that I've thought is when I've seen my parents struggle to answer people when they ask, "What's your child doing?" They're struggling to give them an answer saying what this girl is actually doing. That I've thought, okay, maybe if I had a good job, if I had the so-called good job, the stable job, things would have been easier for my parents. Um, but however, these are just few emotions and feelings that come then, now and then. But I would not. I have no regrets about what I do now. I'm really happy. I find the contentment and that satisfaction, which I think nothing else could have given me, because the kind of exposure, the kind of learnings that I've had in this 1 year is just priceless for me. So challenges are there for anything you take. There are challenges, but this is what I like to do.
Every job has its challenges and its fun side also. But so could you just tell out like what are the rewarding moments that actually made you, stay with this job, like motivating you to like continue with this job?
Um, I think what comes to my mind is there have been times where after the sessions, these youngsters, these teenagers come over and they say, Miss, can we just hug you? And when they genuinely give that hug with a lot of love and affection, I feel, okay, this is where I want to be. Or there have been times where they send messages saying, thank you for all that you said today. I was just about to make I was just about to make a mistake, or I was just going to mess up with life. So thank you for saving. And and there's been times when people have said, I don't know how you reached here, but I'm sure God sent you here for me. So when I hear these things, I feel, oh, I am able to be the hands and legs of God in some way, and be His instrument in tiny ways. And that's all that I've been desiring to do. So these are the things that keeps me going. These are the things that makes me feel, yes, I want to continue doing, no matter what the challenges, no matter what the struggles. This makes me happy. And I think also another huge rewarding moment as an educator have been when my parents actually acknowledged it. So even though they have let me for all this, I don't know how proud they were of me. They, normal parents, they have their their tensions, but there was this one time, the only time that my father heard me speak on stage. And that day when I came down the stage, outside the auditorium, he put his hands around me and he said, I'm proud of you. My father never says that, so when he said that, that was a huge moment for me. And another time where my mother had to go on stage for some reason, and then when she said, yes, she is my daughter, with pride, when she said she is my daughter, I felt like, okay, somewhere I've been able to do something. Yeah, these are the most special, most memorable moments that I consider as an educator.
What was your parents' role in this career choice? Were they supportive or were they skeptical?
um, like like any other parent, my parents too built a lot of dreams about their child. And I must say, I did break their hearts not once but many times about the various decisions that I took, like shifting from pure science to social science, taking a year break, doing the career that I choosing the career that I chose. All of that has been big heartbreaks for them. But this is how it functions in my house. Anything I ask, the first response is a no, especially Appa. He says no. But eventually he comes to a yes, provided I convince him well enough. But on the other hand, Amma is more of that listening person, supporting person. She's like the intercessor at home for me. So my parents have been with me throughout. Like for anything, they have given me permission. They have come with me in all that I do. Um, and one thing that I had decided for myself is that no matter what, without my parents' wholehearted yes and without their blessings, I will not step a foot ahead. This is my personal belief that only if I have the blessings of my parents can I go ahead, because this is what I've experienced in my life. So this is one thing that I've stood forth with, and my parents have supported me. I really owe it to my parents. It is only because they trusted me even when the world doubted me. I know my parents struggle a lot with what people say, but they have trusted me and they've been with me, so I owe it to them for that.
Yeah, no
Yes.
matter what, our parents might hesitate, but
Uh,
end of the day, they are the only person who we can, lean on to.
yes, yes.
2016, I guess it was the very a major turning point. That was when you decided to commit to a Jesus Youth full-timership.
Yes.
So why did like what made you to commit into a full-timership? Were you aware of the struggles that were coming by along with it, or
Uh,
what is it?
struggles. Okay, I've seen a lot of full timers from when I was like from when I came to the movement. So it has always been my desire that I too want to be a full timer. But as I said, my father is a maths professor, and career break and things like that are not really accepted in my house. So that was the biggest challenge that I had. But my heart decided for this. Why I wanted to do initially, my idea was okay. I want to 1 year. God has blessed me so much, so 1 year I want to give back something to the Lord. But very soon I realized there's nothing that I can really give to the Lord. I have nothing of that. So full timership was 1 year where I let the Lord take control of my life. I let the Lord do something for me in my life. And as you said, it has been one major year of my life. It has been the turning point of my life. I had experiences like like never before. It did shape my years after that. Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, could you tell us about some of the experiences that actually changed your perception towards life?
Okay, so full timership is 1 year where you go to a mission place, and for me, I was placed in Thailand, where I lived for about 10 months, and after that, for a month, I lived in Arunachal Pradesh. So usually we think about mission going to a poor country, living that kind of a life. But for me, mission was to cope up with a high city life. I was in Bangkok, so and I really didn't know why God put me there. It's a complete Thai country where I can't even speak a word. I didn't know why God put me there, but um, in time, I got into teaching in a refugee center where I had people from Iraq, Iran, Somalia, Ethiopia, places like that. I've heard about them or I've read about them, but this is the first time I'm seeing them. So I used to be an English teacher to them. These are adults. And when with them, my classes used to be in such a way that I asked them to speak, I asked them to write, and listening to them and reading their writings, that's when I got to know about the life that they live. And that's when I understood how different my life is. I've never been at a gunpoint. I've never struggled in life. Nobody has really taken anything away from me. But the kind of life that they're living is very, very, very different. So when I saw that, when I heard their stories, I felt if my life is so different, if God has made my life so different, I really got to do something worthwhile with this life. I should not just be living and dying off. I need to do something. That was the first shake that I had. And during that time, I also used to volunteer in a care center for special children. So they are children from the age of 3 to about 14, and they are there because they're special. Either their parents have left them there, or they are there to be taken care. And again, no language. There was nothing much that I had to do. All that I had to do was feed them, change their diapers, put them to sleep. Uh, but this is the time, and I thought it was okay, I can do this. But when I started doing, I realized only with the grace of God I can do. And it really needs a lot of humility and grace to be able to do that. And what mission did I do? If asked, there was nothing. I did no evangelization, I did no big mission. All that I did was trying to change their diapers, looking at them, smiling at them. When children get older, it is difficult. It was difficult for me, not for everyone, but uh, mm, trying to take that with joy, looking at those children and smiling when changing their diapers, feeding them, even though it takes many hours, like feeding them, putting them to sleep, like holding them, hugging them, kissing them. That was the biggest love. That was the biggest mission that I felt. These children did not have parents, and that kiss and that hug, that's when I understood how much my parents really cared for me, how they brought me up. And that was again, it kind of shook me in one way. I started counting on the blessings that I have. I usually cry about how short I am, how fat I am, or the hair fall that I have. But over there, when I was there, that's when I understood I am perfectly made in God's image. So I started counting on that blessings. I also started trying to be more humane. Yeah. So those were the two experiences in Thailand. And then when I moved to Arunachal, that was a whole other reality. We've heard about them. Again, we've read about them. But when I went there, maybe I was in a village come forest. So over here, people are maybe 50 years behind us. They do not even know about a world that exists outside their own village. And those were again huge realities for me. I had a lot of shocks where things are very, very different. um, Things that we can't even imagine happens there. And those things again shook me. Those things really pushed me. to think about life a little different. As I was telling earlier, my plan was to become a teacher, to make my life settled, to get a job, to have salary, to look after my family. But when I was here, that's when I understood I should not be so selfish about me and my things. I want to do something more. And I had a lot of time to contemplate also about life. Otherwise, it was after 10th, 12th, after 12th degree, it just went on.
Yeah.
But this one year, I got time to think and to make decisions. And all of this shaped me from there. That helped me choose my master's as education. That led me to freelancing. Then freelancing led me to my doctoral studies. So from there, once I gave my life to God, once I started holding on to Him, things really changed for me. I used to be a person who used to plan things and say, okay, this is my plan, you should bless me. But from there, I started sitting at His feet and asking God, what is it you want me to do? And that really made all the difference. I can see how my life has been different from before and after 2016. Yes.
So I guess important thing that we learned is like, we should let everything in the hands of God and try not to control it, because
We need to do our part,
yeah,
but rely on God.
rely on
Yeah,
God
yeah.
more.
He has better plans than our plans.
Yeah.
That's what I understood.
So last question.
Okay.
So what is that one message you have for all of us?
Um, I don't have. It's within these few years of life. I would say, when you dream, you gotta dream big dreams, because God's really looking at your dreams. I have this habit of writing down my dreams, and now when I look back, I can see done, done, done. God just makes it happen. So be sure to dream big dreams. That's one. And two, don't really think about what others are going to think about you. If you're going to live that way, we're going to live with chicken dreams. But think about the 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 best that you can do out of your life, the plan that God has for you, and then we might be able to soar high like an eagle. So my message is dream and be sure to dream big dreams. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much. It's such an insightful interview, and in such a young age, you are telling such such great profound things. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you so much, Michelle.